So what really happens after a self-defense incident when the police start talking to you, the good guy? We'll talk about that in just a minute, but first, let me remind you we have a gun giveaway going on. It's happening right now, but it ends really soon. It's absolutely free to enter. All you need to do is click in the link down below in the description to find out which brand new gun you could win. Okay, so we've all seen it on the movies. There's a shootout, the good guy wins, the bad guy gets killed or gets shot, the good guy goes home and everything's fine. Self-defense incidents are not like TV and the movies. Things do not end in 51 minutes. You're going to be the focus of an investigation, even if you are clearly the good guy, and in your eyes clearly you are. You wouldn't have pulled your gun if you didn't believe that you were in imminent danger of death or great bodily harm, because you're a responsibly armed American and you know the rules. But understand, once you do that, and once you pull out your gun and you fire it, you are starting a series of dominoes that are going to fall. The 911 call is going to be made, and Lord knows what the person on 911 is going to tell the police. Okay? If you're not making that call, you don't know what is said, and you could be described as the bad guy in this situation. So police are now responding to the call of shots fired, man with a gun, and they're looking for you as a potential bad guy. And I can tell you from experience, when cops roll up on a scene, they're thinking about one thing primarily: I'm going home safe. That's what a cop is thinking. How can I get in here and figure this out without getting hurt? Okay? It's been several times I didn't really want to knock on the door because the neighbors said the guy inside had a gun. But I had to do it anyway, so I had to figure out a way to be safe. So that's what cops are thinking when they get to the scene. They want to be safe. And that means they're going to take control of the situation. And you need to understand that cops get there, they're nervous. It may come off as they're angry, but they're angry because they're nervous. They don't want to get shot. They're at a scene where somebody else got shot. They know there's a gun at that scene somewhere. They don't want to get shot. So they're going to be barking commands, they're going to be taking control of that scene, and they're only going to calm down when they feel like everything is safe enough for them to calm down. Follow those instructions to the letter. Put your gun down before they yell at you to put it down. Show them your hands. Follow their instructions to the letter. You will probably get handcuffed. You will most certainly get isolated and moved off to the side away. They will keep an officer with you before the investigator starts talking to you, trying to figure out what's going on. Now at this point, you can lawyer up. You can say, I'm not making any statement unless I have my attorney. If the bad guy's laying there on the ground, not moving, you can say that, and they're not going to need any information from you to continue that portion of the investigation. If you fired shots and the bad guy ran away, it might be in your best interest to give a physical description, a direction of travel, and other small amounts of information. Certainly you don't want to be admitting any guilt, but they kind of already know what happened. They know that there was a shooting, they know you were involved, things like that. So don't be admitting any guilt, but at least help if you can with the investigation. Yep, he's wearing a white shirt, he went that way. I think I hit him once, I saw some blood on the shirt, something like that. Other than that, you're going to want to remain quiet. Make sure that you talk to your attorney before you make any official statements to police. Now, this might get you a ride down to the police station or the sheriff's department or something like that, where they're going to take you inside and probably not immediately book you into jail, but at least take you to an interrogation room where they can sit you down, let you rest for a little bit. That's what they're telling you they're doing. They're letting you rest. They're actually just letting you stew on what happened to see if you will then make a statement or talk to them about it. But they can take you to the station, they can hold you, they can book you into jail if they so desire, and typically it's going to be, maybe they can keep you for 48 hours before you have to have a hearing or something like that before the judge. So understand that all of these things are going to happen. And officers are going to try to get as much information out of you as they can. There will be questions. There will be repeated questions. Okay? In the best case scenario, you tell those investigating officers that you don't want to make a statement until you have spoken to an attorney, and then let it go from there. It could play out a couple of different ways. They might keep you the full 48 hours if they think there's something really weird going on at the scene, or they might end up cutting you free, making sure they have all your information, how to contact you and get in touch with you, and continue this investigation at a later time. But you can bet your gun will be gone. That gun is now in evidence, and it's staying in evidence until they have closed this case one way or another. If it's going to trial, that gun's going to stay in there for a long time. If they finally clear it and say everything you did was justified, that gun's going to stay in there for not quite as long a time, but still probably longer than you would like. So understand all of those things are going to happen. It's going to seem to you like maybe in rapid sequence right away, but then things are going to draw themselves out. If you're sitting in an interrogation room alone for 2 hours, waiting for the investigator to get from the scene to talk to you, that's going to kind of suck. You don't just get to holler, "I get my phone call." You'll get your phone call in due course. They will let you call somebody. Make sure that you give as much information to the person on the other end of that line, whether it's a family member or a USCCA operator or somebody like that. Make sure you give as much information as you possibly can. And then this situation is going to take its course. There's not a whole lot you can do. Ranting and hollering and saying you know your rights is not going to help. Again, raise your right to remain silent. Raise your right to an attorney. Tell them you don't want to make statements until you've spoken to an attorney, and then let this take its course. The most important thing is that you survive the incident. The second most important thing is that you survive the legal aftermath, and that's going to happen immediately after the incident and go on for several months. And then, of course, you have to survive the psychological aftermath. All of the questioning is what you did the right thing. So these are the elements that are going to happen following a self-defense incident. You need to be prepared for them. It's not enough just to have a gun on your hip. You need to know what's going on. You're pulled over by the police and you're carrying concealed. Do you need to do anything special in this scenario? Like tell the officer you have a gun. Click this video right next to me and I'll break down that scenario step by step on what you should do.